parent should have to bury your child. No mother should have to bury her son. Mothers are not meant for burying sons. It is not in the natural order of things. I buried my son in a potter's field, in a field of blood, an empty, acrid silence. There was no funeral. There were no mourners. His friends all absent, his father dead, his sisters refusing to attend. I discovered his body alone. I dug his grave alone. I placed him in a hole and covered him with dirt and rock alone. I was not able to finish burying him before sundown, and I'm not sure how that affected his lot. I begrudge God none of this. I do not curse him or bemoan my lot. And though my heart keeps beating only to keep breaking, I do not wonder why. I remember the morning my son was born as if it were yesterday. The moment the midwife placed him in my arms, I was infused with a love beyond all measure and understanding. I remember holding my son and looking over at my own mother and saying, now I understand why the sun comes up at day and the stars come out at night. Now I understand why the rain falls gently. Now I understand you, Mother. I loved my son every day of his life, and I will love him ferociously long after I've stopped breathing. I am a simple woman. I do not read. I do not write. My opinions are not solicited, and my voice is not heard. On the day of my son's birth, I was infused with a love beyond all understanding. The world tells me that God is in heaven and my son's in hell. I tell the world the one true thing I know. If my son's in hell, there is no heaven. Because if my son sits in hell, there is no God!
Between heaven and hell, there's a place. This place. Hope. Hope is located right over here in downtown Purgatory.
Next case.
Now, Purgatory, contrary to popular belief, has plumbing and bodegas and a movie theater. They even have a little park where people can walk their dogs at, too. Hope ain't got none of that. And it definitely don't smell good.
Next case, bailiff.
Now, I've worked here in Hope for the last 2.5 years. That's how I got these wings. And I wouldn't trade nothing for these wings. With these wings, I can fly. At nights, I fly down to earth and watch my littlest baby boy sleep. He's 7. And he's got my picture right up on his wall, right between Shaquille O'Neal and the Incredible Hulk. Most nights, I fly uptown to the window of my oldest baby girl's house to watch my grandbaby little bit sleep. I stay to watch my oldest baby girl, Tanya, sit with her feet in a pot of hot water, always studying some books. I'll stick around to watch her man Winston come home late from work, but always with a cheeseburger or a muffin for my baby girl. Winston's love for her is written all over his face. I was wrong about him. I thought he was shifty. When I get back to heaven, I tell my husband, Delane, all about it. Now, Delane, he don't like to fly, but he loves to hear the stories. Plus, he likes how I look like when I come back all windblown. Now, hope, it changes with the times, but it has always stood as God's gift to the last of his children. Every civilization changes the cosmic furniture differently. In biblical times, hope was an oasis in the desert. In medieval times, a shack free of plague. Today, hope is no longer a place for contemplation, litigation being the preferred new order of the day.
There's my bailiff. Here, sir. Then call the next case.
God in the Kingdom of Heaven and Earth versus Thorsing the Implacable. Motion to appeal.
Denied.
God in the
Next
Kingdom of Heaven and Earth versus Henry Wayne Masters.
Nope.
God in the Kingdom of Heaven and Earth versus Benedict Arnold.
No.
God in the Kingdom of Heaven and Earth versus Judas Iscariot.
Judas is... Who brings this crap before me?
Your Honor, my name is Fabiana Aziza Cunningham.
Never heard of it.
I live in purgatory.
Then you should have behaved better. Motion denied. Next case.
Your Honor, I have a writ signed by St. Peter at the
Next
gates of
case.
heaven. Your Honor, I have a writ.
She has a writ, sir.
Excuse me.
Just saying the lady has a writ, so I mean...
Beta. Let's set up a little signal between the two of us, okay?
Okay.
Good. Now, when I come to court dressed as Ethel Merman in a one-piece bathing suit, that'll be my signal to you that I want your opinion.
Yes, sir.
Next case. Beta, what's your name?
Julius of Outer Mongolia.
You're on work release from purgatory, Julius, correct?
Yes, sir.
Want to get to heaven someday? Eat fried chicken and mashed potatoes, feel the sun on your face?
Yes, sir, very much, sir.
Then call the next case!
Yes, sir, absolutely, sir.
Good. Have a lollipop.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Next case.
What's the writ, sir?
Your Honor, if I may.
Who speaks before?
It is I, Yosef Akbar Hakim El Nasser Gamal El Fayoume.
Who are you?
An attorney, great sir, willing and able to prosecute this sham of a case and defend the gates of heaven and the kingdom of God from this big shenanigan of a so-called writ. Your Honor, look no further. Yosef Akbar Hakim El Nasser Gamal, a beacon for justice.
Oh, a beacon, eh?
May I approach you?
The bench.
The bench. It's a lovely bench. Splendid and sturdy like the great derriere that rests upon it. Your Honor, I received wind of this so-called writ several weeks ago and preparing day and night to refute the allegations it contains.
Your Honor, let the record reflect I have no opposition
You
to Mr.
speak
L.
when
White.
spoken to.
Don't bait this great man, lady. He presided over the appeal of Attila the Hun when you were just a cheap shot of whiskey on your great-great-grandfather's first unpaid bar tab.
Well said.
Forgive the outburst.
You got a license to practice, Mr. El Fajita?
Yes, absolutely. Submitted for your most scrupulously discerning approval, Your Eminence.
Oh.
His name's El Fayoume.
What?
You called him El Fajita, sir.
Just give me my glasses.
You're wearing them, sir.
My other glasses.
Oh,
Most worshipful Lord and Master, I've seemed to left my license in my other suit. I could rush back to hell and retrieve it.
Not from hell.
Temporarily detained. Problem with my papers.
Are you sure about that?
Quite sure. I attribute the mix-up to the Americanization of the afterlife. Quite understandable in lieu of recent events.
All right.
Yes, Your Eminence, as you are, great sir.
All right, Cunningham, let me see this writ.
Here, Your Honor.
Oh, Fabiana, you have nice legs. Free for dinner, perhaps?
Cunningham, this writ is garbage. Next case.
Your Honor, my client.
Your client is Judas Iscariot. Your client sold out the Son of God.
Your Honor, that has no bearing.
Judas Iscariot committed the one unforgivable sin, and everybody knows
The
it.
sin of despair.
And then he did the world a favor and hung himself.
From an olive branch, coward.
Your Honor, that writ you hold in your hand is signed by St. Peter.
Now, I know Peter. He's prone to error, believe me, and is rash.
Rash! Absolutely. A little place called Garden Yosemite ring a bell, Fabiana? When the authorities came to arrest Jesus after your client sold him out with a kiss, what did Peter do?
I know what he did.
Well, know it again. He takes out a sword and starts chopping off the ears of the authority. Can you imagine? Jesus had to come in, correct him, put his ears back on. It was a big mess. Really.
Next case.
But Your Honor!
Next case.
Come, Fabiana, dinner and a sensual massage. It will soothe you.
I cite the Beatitudes, and Kierkegaard, I cite Christ on the
I
cross.
side my boot to your backside, Cunningham.
I cite Hegel. Within every idea, thesis, is contained its contradiction, antithesis. And out of that struggle is created synthesis. Synthesis, Your Honor, the union of opposites, their interdependence and inevitable clash producing what's next. What must be revealed. God's perfect love versus God's rightful justice equals what, Your Honor?
Out of my courtroom.
The synthesis of love and honor can produce only mercy and forgiveness. If a just God sits in heaven, it can fall no other way.
Next case.
But Your Honor!
Next case, next case, next case.
Thanks, boys! Hey, y'all. Welcome to my world. So, this is the part of the story where if it wasn't for me, there wouldn't be no more parts of the story, okay? My name is Monica, better known to you mere mortals as Saint Monica. Yeah, that's right, Saint. As in better not don't get up in my grill, because I'll mess you up, because I'm a saint and I got mad saintly connects. You ever drove down Santa Monica Boulevard? You ever ate some sushis down by Santa Monica Pier? Well, that's my boulevard and my pier. And that's all I gotta say about that. Word to the wise, word is most definitely B-O-N-D, bond. Anyways, let me catch my breath. Anyways, up in heaven, a lot of people don't want to hang with me because they say I'm a nag. It's true. You know what I say about that? I say I am a nag. And if I wasn't a nag, I would never made it to be no saint. And the church wouldn't have had no father of the church named St. Augustine, because I birthed him, raised him, and when he started messing up like all the time and constantly, I nagged God to save him. I nagged and nagged and nagged and nagged till God got so tired of me that he did save my son. And my son, St. Augustine, he stopped sipping on some wine and he became learned. So learned that he's now one of the fathers of the church, and you can look that up. Go ahead, look it up. You little blackberry. I'll wait. That's right, father of the church. Got a plaque and everything. So if I hadn't been a nag, all of y'all would have been a bastard church. So sip on that. Anyways, let me catch my breath. As a result of my reputation of having God's ear, a lot of folks pray to me. I got 3 full-time assistants just to sift through it all. Long story short, I was asked to look into the case of Judas Iscariot by this Irish gypsy lawyer in Purgatory named Cunningham. She wanted me to do some nagging to God on Judas's behalf, and quite frankly, I was impressed by her nagging abilities, because that woman nagged me day and night for 40 days. But I don't nag for just anybody, and I definitely don't nag for nobody I don't know, so I went down to check out Judas for my own self. Resorted. He wouldn't talk or nothing, didn't seem to hear me, and I am not someone who has a problem expressing myself, so I figured he was taking it. So I did this. Yo, Judas! Judas! Judas, yo, you deaf? I smacked him around a little. Yo, Helen Keller, wake up! In front, I know you can hear me. Then it started snapping on. Yo, Judas, you got change for 30 pieces of silver? No, Judas, how much you pay for that haircut? 30 pieces of silver? Judas, why you so hung up? Come on, let's hang out. Go out on a limb. You want an olive? We could go to the Olive Garden restaurant because they got good olive over there. All right, fine, Judas. What do you say you and me go down to the bar and betray some folks? What do you say? I know you like betraying. What's up? You ain't in the mood to betray today? All right, we can just hang. Get it? Hang? Get it? Do you get it? What's the matter? Hungry? How about some supper, Judas? Come on. One last supper. What do you say? I couldn't break him, so I sat down next to him. I sat with Judas Iscariot for 3 days. On the night of the 3rd day, something happened. While I was resting my vocal cords, I saw something unexpected. I saw a single tear fall out of Judas's eye. Just one. When it hit the ground, I saw it was red like a ruby. I looked into his eyes like this. But he couldn't look at me. Or he looked through me. I couldn't tell. His eyes was empty. He was like a catatonic statue of a former human being. And I detected sadness in him. Paralyzing, immobilizing, overwhelming sadness. The sadness ran through him like a river that had frozen up and died, and no one lived there no more. After a while, I didn't know what else to do, so I thought I'd hold him in my arms for a minute and warm him up before I left. I held him in my arms for 4 days. On the 3rd day, I remembered how Jesus had said that God has the biggest love for the least of his creatures, and Judas was the leastest creature I had ever seen. On the 4th day, Judas dropped another single tear, and it was clear-colored this time. It evaporated into the earth on impact. He trembled briefly and froze up. I had seen enough. I took off my outer garments and left them for him so he could smell something human, and I collected my tears in a bucket, and I put it on his face so he could taste the salt. I went back home and I got on the horn to God. I dialed direct, yo. Some people call it being a nag, but I call it doing my job. You should give me a shout if you ever need it, because my name is St. Monica. I'm the mother of St. Augustine, one of the fathers of the church, and you know what? I get results.
Next case.
God the Kingdom Kingdom of Heaven and Earth versus Judas Iscariot.
Bailiff!
Here's the writ, Your Honor. Note the signature at the bottom.
She got a writ signed by God, sir.
Bailiff! Where's the fajita?
Present and accounted for, dripping with anticipation to defend with marvelous cunning and great relish the kingdom of heaven and earth and your great sourness from the Satan-spawned traitor, Judas Iscariot, and his beguiling but outlandishly misguided counsel, your eminently great and rakishly handsome sir.
Cunningham, I do not like it when lawyers go over my head.
You gave me no choice.
Objection, your honor. As humans, we always have choice. Motion to strike.
Mr. El Fajita, you are aware that the trial hasn't actually begun yet, aren't you?
Yes, I was merely trying to get... Yes, sorry.
Fabiana Aziza Cunningham, that correct?
It is.
So where's the red hair and freckles, Cunningham?
My mother was a Romanian gypsy, settled in Vinegar Hill in Harlem in the 1960s.
And your father?
A local parish priest.
Got more than his palm read, did he? All right, Cunningham, I think it's only fair at this juncture to tell you a few things about myself. Things that may perhaps inspire you to take your little mission elsewhere. For example, I strongly dislike tapioca pudding.
Ooh, tapioca.
Sit down! But even more than tapioca, Cunningham, I dislike the following. Defense attorneys, as a rule, half-breeds in general, and Judas Iscariot is anything other than a cautionary tale. Now, is that a problem for you?
No.
You ever met God, Cunningham?
I don't know that I believe in God.
You just handed me a writ signed by him, and yet you don't know if you believe.
Correct?
But what if he appeared to you? Just one day, boom, white beard, flowing robes, a whole rack of lamb.
Your Honor.
What if you went home tonight? Jesus Christ himself were to greet you at your front door with a dozen Krispy Kremes and a quart of cold milk and say to you, Cunningham, Fabiana, it's me. I really am that thing you've always feared more than doubted. What would you do then?
Your Honor.
And what if you let him in and you could sit down with the man for just say 3 minutes? And you could touch him, inspect him, interrogate him all you want, have him do miracles, tell you the exact story of your life, and you wound up convinced, Cunningham, wiping away tears of joy and relief on your living room couch. What if he proved it to you? Would you believe that?
Well, if he proved it, I suppose I would have to.
After only 3 minutes.
So?
So, consider this, Cunningham. You're the cynical, faithless spawn of a crackpot gypsy and a defrock Mick, and you just told me that Jesus would have you on your knees in 3 minutes. Your friend Judas, he had Jesus for 3 years. Think about that, Cunningham. 3 years in the foxhole with the best friend you ever had. He shot him in the back for a pack of coolers. Think what that says about the essential character of the man. Now, go home and stir that into your wee gypsy teapot. Petition's valid, motion denied, next case.
Pure genius.
Your Honor, that writ is signed by God.
Yeah, but it ain't signed by your client now.
My client is catatonic. He's incapable of signing.
If he's catatonic, how do you know he wants an appeal in the first place?
Who couldn't want to appeal eternal damnation?
Someone who's aware of his own self-inflicted erosion of the capacity to be filled by grace. Someone so prideful, too prideful to ask for forgiveness even in the face of the fiery furnace. Or maybe he don't bother asking because he knows he don't deserve it.
Your Honor, the only person who needs forgiveness is the one who doesn't deserve it.
Then let him ask.
I'm asking for him.
Out of my courtroom, sister, and may God have mercy on your blasted arrogant soul. Now get thee uptown, woman. Stop your rabble-rousing and get humble, because you ain't going to get to heaven by trying to dismantle the natural order of things that the good Lord has so thoughtfully put together.
Your Honor, are you a citizen of heaven?
Bailiff, remove this woman.
You live here with us. That means you know no more about God's law than any of the rest of us here.
My papers are pending. I'll be up there any day now.
Your papers have been pending since 1864. That's over 140 years.
Cunningham, if there's an insinuation at the end of that statement, I suggest you don't make it.
Not an insinuation, Your Honor, but a question. If the truth really does set us free, then what is it that is progressively precluding your capacity to respond to the call of that truth? Because 140 years suggest to me that you're not moving closer, but farther and farther away from it every
What
day.
does Judas Iscariot have to do with my truth? I didn't hang myself from some olive branch.
No, not from an olive branch, but on a battlefield in northern Georgia in 1864. Allatoona, and the tree, oak, I believe. Your Honor, I have to wonder what your honest answer will be when you are one day asked how different you are now from that day when you died.
Tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. That work for you?
It does.
Put it on the docket.
Docket?
Just write it down. Anything else, Fabiana Aziza Cunningham?
No, Your Honor.
Next case.
Fear not, your grace, I shall slay this fallen woman like a crocodile slays a one-legged newt.
Next case, next case, next case!
Very little is actually known about Judas Iscariot, but this here is one of the jury members, Loretta. On Earth, she's currently on life support.
Hey, hello.
Hey, Loretta, they figured out whether you coming or going yet.
Not really. Any day now, they say.
Say, Loretta, you smoke cigarettes?
Well, not on kind, just on a respirator.
Yeah, but you got one?
Well, maybe in my purse.
You got a lighter too?
It's a NASCAR lighter.
Right. Back to Judas. Not much is known about him. He was chosen to be an apostle. He betrayed Jesus Christ, and then he hung himself. Not much to go on when you're meant to rely on fact.
You know, I had an uncle. Can I say this?
Yeah, go ahead.
When I was a little girl, my drunk Uncle Pino, he used to like going around saying, I believe because it is absurd. It is certain because it is impossible.
What do you mean by that?
No clue. But I think.
Ladies, we're back.
Oh, hold up. That's Butch Honeywell. Unlike Loretta, he is definitely dead. And also unlike Loretta, he doesn't have any interest in finding it out. Say, Butch, we miss anything?
Oh, just some crap about the essential paradox of man, how we refuse to juxtapose the absolute to the relative, and some such about paradox as an ontological definition which expresses the relation between an existing cognitive spirit and eternal truth. You know, crap. Listen, they passed out the lunch menus. I ordered you guys the combo club with fritters.
Fritters? Awesome. Thanks, Butch.
Great magnificence, sir. Prosecution now calls Henrietta Iscariot, mother of Judas Iscariot, to the stand.
State your name, ma'am.
Yes, hello, Miss Iscariot. Miss Iscariot, I take you back to the year 8. You're a single mother raising many children, Judas being your eldest and man of the house. You sent him out to go fishing to bring back food for you and his poor, starving sisters. What happened next?
Just tell the truth, ma'am.
Well, I was worried because Judas was late coming home that night. I waited by the fire. He was only 8. I was concerned that maybe the Romans had detained him for shoplifting again.
A shoplifter, I so please the court.
But then he came home.
Hi, Mommy.
Judas, I was worried.
What I got, Mommy? A spinning top.
Judas, did you catch any fish? Your sisters are weeping with hunger.
Weeping, sir, weeping.
I got 5 fish.
Well, where are they?
I saw them in the market and bought the spinning top. Look like spinning.
Judas Iscariot, I'm ashamed of you.
But, Mommy.
Selfish boy, you'll come to no good.
Selfish boy, you'll come to no good. Is that what you said at the time?
He was only 8.
8 and too late. Nothing further.
Ross,
No, thank you.
wasn't talking to you.
Mrs. Iscariot, what happened the next day?
Judas ran away from home that night. I searched for him all the next day. Late in the afternoon, I observed the following.
Hi. 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 My name is Judas Returns. That's the Galilee. Hey, I got an idea. Why don't you go home and get your spinning top, and then when you get back to the spinning top, we can play battles with the spinning top. I've got a spinning top. I wish you got a spinning top. All my friends got one except me. Yeah, that's rough. I used to not have one too. Other kids, they call me Sissy Boots because I don't got a spinning top. You should ask your mommy to buy you one. I don't got a mommy. Then ask your daddy to buy you one. I got a daddy. He's very stern. He don't believe in spinning tops, so I can never get one. Wow. You probably think I'm a sissy pants too. No, hey man, don't cry. It's just very hard to get through life with that spinning top, you know. You wanna try mine? For real? Yeah. top, Judas. Fixed it out myself. Boy, oh boy, your daddy must really love you to buy you such more stuff for those on top of this. Father said, what? The Romans do it. Yeah, the Romans, they took our goats off. Now I don't have money for nothing, even food. And so my father makes me go to the butcher to ask for my dog. But I don't have a dog. The butcher knows I don't have a dog. But he gives me bones because he takes pity on me, and I give them to my father. He makes soups. And we eat it, and it tastes really bad. And my grandma says my father's right, because he can't earn no money. The Romans took all our goats, and that's why everything messed up. And I can't have a spin top or nothing. What? Better go home now. I'm about to be home before 6. My father's very stern. Okay. Thank you for letting me cut your spinning top, Judas. Maybe someday my dad will get more goats, and he'll get a spinning top, and I'll come back to my spinning tops and stuff. That was really fun.
The sad boy started to leave, but then...
Wait. Here. What? Can I have it? I can have your spinning top? Yeah. For real? Yeah. Wow, Kazowie tag! Thank you, Judas!
People ask me who my son was. I tell them that story.
Thank you, Mrs. Iscariot. The witness is excused.
Not so fast, Mrs. Iscariot. Your son was picked up the very next day by the Roman authorities on the charge of stealing a blind man's staff. A blind man's staff that was later pawned to Omar the baker to purchase, it says here, cotton candy and a royal blue spinning top. Is that correct, Mrs. Iscariot? Is that correct?
I don't know. It was so long ago.
Speaking to the microphone.
There is no microphone!
Yes, this is true. Your Honor, we have reason to believe that the staff-deprived blind man in question was later run over by a rabid Judean camel. Here's the death certificate. No further questions.
Next witness.
Great wise sir. Prosecution now calls the incomparable Mother Teresa to the stand.
Name?
What?
Name!
Did you say something?
State your name, ma'am!
OJ. 1045, okay?
Yes, Mother Teresa, over here. Hello.
Who said that?
It is I, remember me?
OJ's handsome boy, hello.
Hello, how are you?
Speak louder, boy.
I said, how are you?
Speak louder.
I said, how are you?
Judge, bailiff, I believe we do have a hearing device for Mother Teresa.
Gets a device.
I believe you have the device, sir.
What? Here.
Put this on, ma'am!
Oh, thank you, giant man.
Yes, Mother Teresa. Yes, Mother, can you hear me now?
Jace,
How about now?
Jace.
How about this?
You're tricking me,
I'm tricking you.
bad boy.
Bad boy, scandalous. Ooh.
Your Honor, if prosecution is through flirting with the beatified iconic virgin, we could perhaps...
Well, for you, the contact has been established. Let's get on with it now, shall we?
No further hesitation, Your Grace. I'm simply enamored to be in her beatific presence. Your Honor, I love Mother Teresa. In Christian Egypt, she was a great star. When I was a boy, I used to don a towel in my mother's nightgown and stalk the back streets of Cairo looking for dying things to comfort and salve. Mother Teresa, I love you. You're the oasis. You're the light.
Counselor, do we need to take a moment?
Yes, I think we do, Judge.
5-minute recess. Adjourned.
My name is Peter. They got a basilica in Rome named after me, which is ironic, because back in the day, if you said the word Rome in my presence, more than likely I'd have beat you with my stick. I had to have those kind of rules laid down strong, because my brother Drew and his friends, they like to waste their time talking about overthrowing Rome and the coming of the Messiah, instead of focusing on the task at hand. And I'd always be like, look fellas, unless your Messiah gonna come down right now and help us catch some fish, y'all need to shut the heck up and put your undivided attention on these dang nets. And then one day Drew, he didn't even turn up for work. Then he come running up to me at the shore at the end of the day talking about, this is Jesus, bro. He's the Messiah. I ain't fishing no more. I'm just gonna follow him. And this Jesus, who resembled a Messiah about as much as I resemble a ballerina in a tutu, strides on up to me and says, "Catch any fish today?" And I says, "No, I did not catch any fish today." He says, "Take the boat back out to the sea. You're going to catch some fish." So I took Jesus back out with me, intending to throw him overboard. But then he says, "Cast your nets wide and deep." So I did. And then, well, all I can say is I was a professional commercial fisherman. Nobody knew the sea or the tides better than me. There weren't no fish out there. But as it turns out, that's because they was all in my net. Then Jesus says to me, "Follow me, and I will make you a fisher of men." I didn't know it that day, but I would never see the sea again.
My name is Matthew. I was a Jewish tax collector for the empire. My job was to take the food out of your mouth and see it shipped to Rome. Roman tax was exorbitant and non-negotiable. If you had 6 geese, I took 3. If you had a flock of sheep, I took 50%. If you had 1 sheep, I'd cut that sheep in half. If you had no sheep, I'd take a child, your child, and had him or her sold into slavery to settle your debt with the emperor. It's not a made-up story. This is history. It's a fact. We were a conquered nation, and I was a traitor to my people. I was a Jew, stealing from Jews. According to our laws, I was a sinner and a traitor. I was unclean, unfit to be gazed upon. That's who I was.
I hated you to look at you.
I looked at you, Peter, as a dumb, ignorant fisherman.
And I looked at you, Matthew, as something I can't say in mixed company.
I was a scumbag.
That's right.
I was a scumbag, and it was against the law to look me in the eye. Jesus, he looked me in the eye. He looked me in the eye and said, "Follow me." That's all he said. And before we broke bread that night, I was made clean. I was clean.
Ready to proceed?
Absolutely. Mother Teresa! Mother Teresa. Mother Teresa. I won't take up much of your time today, and certainly you know it needs an introduction.
I don't mind.
Mother Teresa, you're soon to be canonized saint and recipient of the Nobel Peace Prize. You're a resident of Albania, which tells me you know how to handle a firearm. Yet at age 12, you desired to serve God. At 18, you entered the convent. At age 21, you left for the slums of Calcutta, in which you would soon beginning ministering to the dying and the sick. And you do that, Mother Teresa, you do that with love and mercy and grace and generosity all the days of your life up until the day you died, correct?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely, Jess. Mother Teresa, I call you to the stand for a very special purpose today.
And what is that?
I'm getting to it. Mother Teresa, your life and subsequent canonization lead me to believe that you know a little bit about God and the life of the Spirit, correct?
I know what I know. What do you want to know?
Mother Teresa, is there a hell?
I hope not, but I think so, Jace.
Judas Iscariot, he's in hell, yes?
Well, we can never know for sure, but it don't look good.
Should people feel sorry for people in hell, Mother Teresa?
Very sorry, Jace.
Does God feel sorry for people in hell?
More sorry than us, Jace.
Well, if he feels so sorry, then why doesn't he bring the damned upstairs? 3 hots and a cot. Surely he's got that power.
Boy, God can lead people anywhere. But sometimes the people, they don't want to go. And if the people don't want to go, what you gonna do?
Yeah, but surely they don't prefer to go to hell.
You'd be surprised. Do you know what despair is, boy?
Illuminate me.
I will tell you what Thomas Merton, who is also a very handsome boy like you, I will tell you what that boy said of despair. You may not know this, but at one point in my life, I suffered a great spiritual darkness.
Oh, no, not you.
Quiet now, boy, Jace. For many, many years, I suffered a terrible pain of loss, of God not wanting me, of God not being God, of God not existing. But then one day, I confided my feelings to a friend, an Irish nun, one of the sisters of Laredo from Dublin, Ireland, and she quoted to me Thomas Merton on the subject of despair. She said, "Despair is the the ultimate development of a pride so great and so stiff-necked that it selects the absolute misery of damnation rather than accept happiness at the hands of God, thereby acknowledging that he is above us and we are not capable of fulfilling our destiny on our own. Do you understand what I'm saying to you?
Can you repeat that?
Jay, sure. Despair is the ultimate development of a pride so great and so stiff-necked that it selects the absolute misery of damnation rather than accept happiness at the hands of God, thereby acknowledging that he is above us and we are not capable of fulfilling our destiny on our own.
Yes, I see.
Judas, he succumbed to despair. The music of God's love and grace was all around him, but he made himself hard of hearing, no? Like me, I need this earphone device to hear you, Jace. Without it, I can no hear nothing. But Judas, he threw his earphone device away. And that is very sad, but that is what he did and that is what happened.
Yeah, but couldn't God have just obtained a giant megaphone and shouted the instructions into Judas's ear?
Boy, one must participate in one's own salvation. In order to hear, one must be willing to listen. When you throw your earphone device, you are telling God, I'm no better than you. No good, boy, no good.
No good indeed. Mother Teresa, you've been a ravishing delight. And I thank you for your astute and expert testimony, even as an unbeliever.
Mother Teresa, upon receiving your Nobel Prize, did you say to the world, quote, the biggest obstacle to global peace in the world today is abortion?
Jace, I said that.
And do you actually believe that?
Jace, I do.
You accepted large cash donations from the Duvalier family in Haiti, correct?
Jace.
Duvalier being a dictator who murdered and stole from his people?
For the poor, I took.
Blood money?
No, cashier's check.
You also took money from Charles Keating, the savings and loan scam artist who robbed American citizens of billions of dollars.
For the poor, I took. You got $5, I take from you too.
You opposed Vatican II reforms, which, among other things, called for the long overdue official condemnation of anti-Semitism as it relates to the death of Christ. Did you oppose Vatican II, Mother Teresa?
Jace.
You blamed the wars of the world on abortion, took blood money from murderers and thieves, and opposed taking a stance against anti-Semitism. I'm having trouble understanding why we're supposed to consider you an expert in anything having to do with the spirit.
Oh, Jace.
Yes.
Then maybe you better figure it out.
I had 2 abortions, Mother Teresa. What do you think about that?
I will pray for you and your children.
I don't have any children.
Not anymore. That's terrible.
If abortion is so terrible, Mother Teresa, then how come I'm not in hell?
I don't know. Did anybody tell you you weren't?
Must be nice to have all the answers.
Must be hard having only questions.
Oh, I can live with my questions, Mother Teresa. But if you can live with those answers, then, with all due respect, I'd say that your place is not in heaven with the saints, but with the rest of the dinosaurs living in the Stone Age.
Mother Teresa, I wonder if you would join me in wondering who the hell Defense Counsel thinks she's
It's
talking
okay, boy. Everybody want to say something.
Yes.
Nobody want to listen nothing.
about. And on that well-struck note, let's go back and revisit some of the...
I go now.
But I'm not finished.
I go now.
Yes, Mother, and I think we should all emblazon in our memories.
Boy,
Yes,
maybe
Mother.
you give earphone device to girl. Then maybe girl hear something won't make her head hurt no more.
There's nothing wrong with my head.
Cunningham, stand down.
Nice boy. A handsome boy.
Next witness.
Defense calls Simon the Zealot to the stand.
Name, Simon the Zealot.
You were one of the 12 apostles, Simon, correct?
Yep.
And you were a zealot.
Yep.
Was Judas Iscariot a zealot?
Well, he didn't go to the meetings or nothing, but yeah, he's pretty much a zealot if you ask me.
Zealots being Jews seeking an end to the violent oppression of the Roman occupation, correct?
Oh, actually, not exactly, no.
Are you saying the zealots were in favor of the occupation?
No, we hated the Romans. Oh, absolutely, we wanted them to hit the curb running and bloody. But we was opposed to any Gentiles in Palestine. Greek, Roman, whoever. What us zealots was really about was promoting a strict adherence to the Mosaic law.
Mosaic law being?
The law of Moses, the Torah. That's a whole bag right there, miss. Get rid of the bad seeds and unite the people under the holy law of God. Basically, we was the street version of Caiaphas the Elder, except we had knives and stuff, and we thought Caiaphas was soft. He's a bit of a politician, you know.
And what was life like under Roman rule, Simon?
Where are you from, miss?
New York.
Okay. Imagine New York is taken over by violent, devil-worshipping cannibals who spit on your laws and stole all your money and took your women and children as slaves and put giant swastikas on all your bridges, tunnels, libraries, and civic institutions. And anybody complained about it got nailed naked to a piece of wood in the middle of Times Square, left to be eaten by rats and dumped on by pigeons till the weight of their body asphyxiated themselves to death. That's what it's like.
And you thought Jesus was going to change all that, didn't you?
We all did.
Change it how?
Throw him out. That's the Messiah was supposed to do.
But he didn't do that, did he?
No.
And yet he was capable of it, wasn't he? You'd seen him perform miracles, raise people from the dead.
It was a bit of a conundrum, yeah.
Were you at the disturbance at the temple?
Yeah.
And what did you think about that?
You kidding? I loved it. Judas, too. We all did. We thought it was on, you know.
On meaning?
The beginning of the revolution.
But it wasn't, was it?
No.
What happened after the riot at the temple, Simon?
Jesus, he had us retreat to this house, and he's like, I'm gonna die soon, so let's just chill.
Must have been very disappointing.
It was confusing. I mean, whacked out, man. 1 minute, Jesus is beating the infidels down, talking fists and whips. I mean, he gonna tear down the temple. Next minute, he's all passive. We was like, we invested 3 years in this guy, now he's just gonna lay down? Didn't seem to make no sense.
Simon, why do you think that Judas Iscariot turned Jesus into the authorities?
Well, I think, personally, Judas was trying to throw Jesus in the deep end of the pool. Make it swim.
Judas was testing Jesus?
Well, not testing, because we all knew Jesus had bad skills past the test.
What then?
Listen, I knew Judas pretty good. We was pretty tight on account of our politics and whatnot. What I believe is this, that Judas knew if the Romans grabbed up Jesus, Jesus would have to act.
Meaning?
Meaning act. Get it on and start fighting like he's supposed to. Emancipation was our birthright. That's what the Messiah was there for. I think, personally, Judas did what he did to help Jesus realize his mission and fulfill his destiny.
Judas tried to help Jesus.
I believe so, yes.
Thank you.
So, Judas was a helper, eh?
Yeah.
Oh, just there to lend the helping hand.
Yeah.
Yes, I think you're right. Because if it were me and my best friend sold me out and betrayed me for a roll of quarters, causing me to be beaten, whipped, mangled, and gouged, and strung up to dry in the hot Judean sun until I looked like a bearded, wrinkled Frankfurter, yes, I'm sure the first thing that would come to my mind as I was bleeding to death and gasping for air would be, oh, that Judas, what a helpful guy. I must remember to send him a thank you note. Let's talk turkey, Zealot. Judas was a friend of yours, correct?
Yeah.
You thought the same thoughts?
Yeah.
Had the same opinions?
Yeah.
The same beliefs?
Yeah.
Wanted the same things?
Yeah.
Wanted them desperately?
Yeah.
Then why didn't you do what Judas did? If you thought what you thought and you believe what you believe, then why didn't you join Judas? Or turn Jesus in on your own?
I don't know.
Oh, protecting a friend. Now that's admirable. Tell me, Jesus never said that his mission as Messiah on earth was to overthrow the Romans, did he?
Not exactly.
But
no.
you thought it was the mission. You wanted to be the mission, but it wasn't the mission at all, was it, Zealot?
I guess not.
And how is it that you understood that violence wasn't part of Jesus' mission, but Judas never did?
I couldn't say.
Tell me, Zealot, what was your inner life like before you met Jesus of Nazareth? And I don't think I need to remind you to be honest now, do I?
No, I was consumed with anger. Jesus, he saved my life.
Final question, man of zeal. Do you believe, as the Bible says, that God created man in his own image?
I do.
Of course you do. And there, Zealot, lies the answer to one of my previous questions. The difference between you and Judas Iscariot is that you believe and accepted that you created God in your own image, his own image. Yet, Judas sought to create God in his own image. God is earthly avenger. And that's not how God operates. And even though that you were scared, Zealot, even though that you were confused and angry and hurt, you still chose to obey God, didn't you?
I guess I got lucky?
Luck indeed. Simon the Zealot, there's something beautiful about you, and that is your modesty. You're a God-fearing man. Go now. Be free.
Jesus never proclaimed himself to be God, Simon, correct?
No, he never did.
And what did Jesus say to Judas at the Last Supper?
He said, do what you gotta do.
Sounds like Jesus approved.
Maybe.
But if you were Judas, Simon, and doing what you had to do ended up getting you thrown into despair, hanging from a tree, and sent to hell to live in infamy and misery in perpetuity? If you were Judas, Simon, would you kind of wish that maybe Jesus had said something else instead?
Yeah, Counselor, I very much would have.
Would it kind of make you feel like you got screwed?
Objection, Your Honor. Foul mounts a dirty bird.
I withdraw the question.
I would have felt like you said, though. Next witness.
Most reverend Signor, with your magisterial permission, prosecution now conjures Satan, the Prince of Darkness, to the stand.
Fabiana Aziza Cunningham.
Hello.
I've been keeping the light on for you, Cunningham.
Come on now, Lou. Have a seat. We get started here.
You never change, do you, Frank?
I suppose I don't.
That's what I like about you. Say, how's Wilhelmina doing with the girls?
Now, I wouldn't know. Now, please kindly park your caboose in that chassis.
Oh, I'm sorry, of course. Fire away! My apologies, Frank.
Bailiff,
I was out helping the elderly, sir.
let's just proceed. Counselor, proceed.
Yes, how are you today, Satan?
Oh,
Long night. No regrets.
That partying with the decadent debauch?
Oh, God doesn't show.
Oh, no.
I'll tell you, I could barely make it through my double session Pilates this morning. If it weren't for good genes, I'd be nothing but a raisin with boobs and a perm.
Well, you look good, Satan. You have an excellent physique.
Well, thank you. So do you.
Well, thank you. You know, I make exercise as part of my... Anyway. No horn or tail today, Prince of Evil?
No.
At the dry cleaners, I suppose?
Yes.
Cling to the DM, I must say, your candor is quite refreshing.
As is yours.
Well, thank you. Oh, and that jacket really is smart.
Oh, you like it?
Oh, it's beautiful. Is it Armani?
Gucci.
Gucci. Yes, of course. Oh, and the trousers. Are they Gucci too?
Yes.
Oh, well, they have a look. Anyway, let's get started, shall we?
I'm at your service.
I appreciate that.
And I appreciate your appreciation.
Excellent. So tell me, Dark One, did you have any conversation with Judas Iscariot prior to his selling out of Jesus of Nazareth?
No, I did not.
You're sure about that?
Yes, quite sure, yes.
So you never entered into him, as it says in the Gospel of St. Luke?
No.
And you're sure about that, too?
If I had entered Judas Iscariot, trust me, he would have felt my presence.
So it's safe to say the devil didn't make him do it.
Absolutely, unless, of course, there's another devil running around that I don't know about.
Oh, you're funny, Satan, and you're charming. But let's be clear. You did nothing, Satan. You did nothing to sway Judas Iscariot towards the selling out of his leader and Messiah, Jesus of Nazareth.
That's correct.
Not even a nudge?
Honestly, he didn't require nudging. Judas is a gimme. It happens that way sometimes.
A gimme, yes, a bad seed.
Yes.
How about after he did the deadly deed? Did you have a conversation with the Savior betrayer then?
Yes, I did.
Care to share?
Oh, not a problem. I appeared to Mr. Iscariot at Bathsheba's Bar and Grill shortly after the night in question. Actually, I was in town for a guy named Abdul Mazeh. But he never showed. Then I encountered Mr. Iscariot. He appeared to already have taken full advantage of happy hour. Oh, hello, friend. How are you this evening?
Oh, how am I this evening? What are you, a maitre d' man?
I'm Clementine. Clementine of Cappadocia.
Yeah, well, why don't you go back home to Cappadocia, okay?
Cappadocia. Cappadocia.
What?
It's Cappadocia.
Let me ask you something, Cappadocia. Do I look like someone who cares right now about where you're from?
I'm very sorry.
Sorry don't mean nothing. Take all the sorries in the world, and you pile them one on top of the other, and you know what you got, Cappadocia? You got a big pile of nothing to twist you down.
You're right.
You want to do something about
Yes,
it?
sir.
Then leave me alone.
I will. Thanks for the advice.
Hey, where are you going?
Well, it seems as if you prefer to be alone.
Why would I prefer that? What are you saying? I look like some kind of lone wolf, like a piranha, bro?
You mean a pariah?
I mean what I mean. What, do you need a light or something?
Oh, thanks.
Like the lighter?
Very nice.
I bought it today. Expensive, but I got it like that.
I can see you're a man of wealth and substance. I admire that.
Wealth and substance. Don't push it. So what's your name anyway?
Clementine! Clementine of Cappadocia.
Clementine, eh? Isn't that a girl's name?
Not in Cappadocia.
Well, it is around here, bro. You sure you ain't a girl, man?
I'm pretty sure.
I'm Judas. Judas Iscariot. Maybe you heard of me?
Nah, man, I'm from out of town.
You never heard of me.
You?
Don't get around much, do you, Clementine? Whereabouts you from, man? Egypt?
Cappadocia.
Yeah, but that's in Egypt, though, right?
No, Cappadocia's in Cappadocia.
I dig your pyramids, man, and the Sphinx. Hey, bartender! More of that Mesopotamian wine for my Nubian friend here. And some dates and figs, too. Do you smoke opium, clam?
Clam.
And some opium, bartender, the good stuff!
You seem like a man on a mission.
I took this girl to a puppet show today, man.
Yeah, how was it?
Sucked. Puppets are lame, you know.
In Cappadocia, we burn.
You people have the right idea over there. That Pharaoh, he's a smart man. Yeah, man. Hey, Clammy, cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah, whoa. I like that shirt. What'd you pay for it?
2 pieces of silver.
2 pieces of silver. I'll give you 5. Come on, switch shirts.
But I'm rather fond of this shirt.
Come on, switch shirts, switch shirts. We're buds now. I'll let you be my wingman. Get you some, bro.
A nice brunette.
2 brunettes and a eunuch. Come on, shit.
Oh, okay. He was so drunk he didn't even notice my unmistakably satanic stench.
Yeah, whoa. I dig this shirt. What is it, silk?
From Cappadocia.
Cappadocian silk. All right.
Your shirt is nice, too.
Yeah? Well, thanks, man. That's a nice thing to say. Yeah, it's been a while since I heard something nice. That's really nice, bro. Hey, if I asked you something corny, would you think I was like a wuss?
No, not at all.
Okay. Well, I'm kind of mildly afraid of going to hell.
Why?
Minor incident last night. Miscalculation on my part, nothing serious.
Well, let me tell you one thing about hell. As an eternal destination, it's apparently vastly underrated.
Yeah?
I mean, hell is nothing but the absence of God. And if you're looking for a good time, it's not all a bad thing. You want to play the lute or sing Mary Chapin Carpenter? No, that's what heaven's for. You want to rock? Apparently hell's the venue.
Are there girls down there?
No, not many, but I hear they do import some on the weekends from developing nations. But hey, I wouldn't worry about going to hell.
Even if I did something perhaps a little controversial.
God understands.
Yeah, but don't choices have like consequences?
Come on, man. You think we have a choice?
Well, don't we?
Okay. Did you pass by that disgusting, stinky leper on your way in here tonight?
Who, Freddie?
Yeah, Freddie. Don't you think Freddie had a choice stinking it up out there, huh? And what about what's-his-face in the old days, Job? Don't you think if Job had a choice, he would have been like, okay, God, enough. I get the point.
Yeah, but Job did say that.
Yes, he did. And what happened next, Judas? God kept messing around with him until Job made the only choice available, to stand there and quietly get screwed.
I guess. But say, never mind.
What?
It's not important.
Come on.
Okay. Well, say, what if someone were to betray, for example, The Messiah.
You mean the Messiah?
Yeah, say some idiot had the choice to betray the Messiah or not to betray him, and you chose to betray him.
I really don't know. What do you think?
I'd say the guy's screwed, right?
I really don't know.
Come on, Clams, I'm just asking.
Well, since you asked, I guess I'd say that guy.
Because this is a hypothetical guy we're talking about.
Right, okay. I'd say that if that clown we're talking about betrayed the Messiah, that probably it would have been better for that man if he had never been born.
Never been born.
Hey, you asked.
It's heavy, man. That's a heavy trip, man, Clams.
I'm thirsty. How about you?
Really heavy.
Another round here, Pops. 2 barrels of wine and a hooker menu. Okay, man?
Clams, man. I haven't gotten any in 3 years. Can you believe that guy like me?
3 years?
I wasted my prime. And then I wasted my prime after my prime.
Well, I think you'll probably get some tonight, bro.
You think so?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I need another drink. Tonight, man, I'm gonna drink this bar!
Hey, Judas, let me ask you something. Who is this guy, Jesus of Nazareth, I've been hearing about?
Jesus of Nazareth?
Yeah, I heard he's some kind of somebody.
Some kind of somebody.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Man, that guy, he's a chump!
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Cross.
Not at this time.
Luke, stick around.
I know the drill.
15-minute recess meal break.
Fabiana, free for lunch?